Hi everyone, it's Beaching Nails. Today I'm going to show you guys how I did my Urban Distressed Mani. I went ahead and I painted my swatch stick with 2 coats of Funky Fingers. This is called 890 Elefunk. And what I did with this mani is I used watercolors. I'm sure this would work with acrylic paints too. I just chose to pull out the watercolors. I did these straight. I started with a white. I have like a kind of like a leather light tan. I have a brown and I have a black. Now I went ahead and I added the drops. I just used mine on a piece of paper here. And here's the black, a little bit of the black because I'm going to mix it in with some white to make a light gray. Here's the dark brown, going to mix it to make a lighter. And here is kind of like the khaki color. And I'm going to also mix it so it's lighter. And here's some extra white on the side. This is actually from the original, my scrap paper here. This is just all the paint that I used for that mani. Now I really didn't add any water to the paints. I did very little, if I did. Here's my swatch stick. I also used a painting brush. Just a small flat end brush. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to zoom in so you guys can see. And I'm going to use my orange stick. This is what I'm going to use to mix my paints with. And I'm going to start out with the black. I'm going to just mix a little bit in with my white too, just so I can get a gray. The colors is your choice. You can make them darker, you can make them lighter. I keep a little section of paper towel here handy so I can wipe off my orange stick. And keep your paints handy too, because you may need to add some more. Like I'm not happy with this gray. I'd like it a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add a little bit more white to it. I had seen a painting that's very similar to this mani, and I really liked it, and I wanted to try to put it on my nail, and I was very pleased with the outcome. But the problem is when you start doing a lot of base plays like this, you guys will also find out that it's much harder to art on, because the base is a little bit busy. For me, I like that challenge, because it's harder to art. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and first I'm going to start out with black. I just put a little bit on the brush here, and I'm going to wipe it off on the piece of paper. It's kind of like the drag brush. You can go in any direction you want. Put this down so you can see it. And I do want it a little bit darker because I'm going to be adding layers, so. And just a black line down there. Now this is just straight water paint. I do not have this diluted with any water at all. I'm going to use my paper towel here and just clean off my excess here. And I'm going to go in with my orange stick and I'm going to mix my next color. I'm going to do with a brown. And this one I'm going to go from left to right. And you're just going to keep on doing this to build up layers. The paint will get really thick. And because you're not adding any water, it's going to dry very fast. My pre-little made piles here are already starting to dry. So I've got a little water dish here. I'm going to wet my brush just a tad bit to clean it and to get the bristles a little bit wet. So when I can go into my color. And this is all I did. I kept on going into the colors, mixing, going into white. If you think it's too bold, you can always go over it again. Again, you can go into any direction you want to go in. You can do it diagonal, whichever way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to add a little bit more dark brown to my palette here since my little pile has already dried on me. I thought I'd get everything ready for the video. Well, it didn't work out in the end for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this one up and down this way here. This is the darker brown. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to go into layers. Here's the lighter one again. Let's do this one. I want it up here. Well, that one's really bold. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. And I wiped more off than what I wanted. I'm just going to go right back over it. And you just work at it. Continue adding more colors, going in different directions. I want to add a little bit more browns in here, a little bit more lighter gray, so I'm mixing more white into my black paint to make a lighter gray. As you can see, my actual base is already completely covered. And when you play with any type of craft paints, any of these paints, make sure you use a protective coat on top of your nail, whether it be a couple of coats of clear polish, a base polish, a nail polish color. Having an actual nail polish color when you come back to clean up the excess when you're all done with your painting, it's nicer to have an actual color underneath. I mean, I've noticed when I've done cleanup, you can see your white base when you come up close to clean it, and well, to me, I have a complex about that. I don't like that. So add a little bit more darker brown. I want this brown to kind of pop more. Just give you a quick glimpse. This is what my palette's starting to look like. Just adding a little bit more tiny blobs. When I did mine, I did one color throughout all my nails and then went back with another color. Let's see here. And because I'm using it non-diluted, it's thick. And that's what's making it look like it has a textured look. When it's not texture paint. This is watercolor in a tube. Sorry, the dogs are playing. I've got some lighter gray here, and I just want a little bit lighter than what I want. See, I'll just come back and take some of it off. Wipe the excess on my paper towel here. Play with it. That's all I gotta say. Once you get your rhythm down, you'll have all of your fingers all looking the same. There we go. I like that much better there. If you want, you could go back into your black. You hear me digging the brush into the paint? It's because it's really drying out on me. There. A little bit there. Clean my brush just a little bit. I don't want it so dark. Come back in on my brown, my dark brown. Just add the colors everywhere. It's random art. And go back through it. Come back over it again. Let me turn this around and take a look at it here. To me, what I'm seeing, it's a little bit too much. It's kind of like muddy looking up here. The black's not bold. I don't see many other colors up there, so I'm going to add a little bit more black to my palette. just so I can make a cleaner line and then come back and clean all of that up. I'm wiping off all my excess here. I'm going to go back right over it. Now some of you guys are thinking, oh man, you just screwed that up. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, but you know what? It's watercolors. I feel safe. We can fix this. I'm going to add some more colors. Or refill my palette is what I'm doing. Because my colors are drying. I'm using this straight. And it gives it a little bit of time for that black to dry. I'm going to come in. When I'm going over it, I'm actually wiping some of that black away. You see my mat here getting all dirty? And once you do get your brush wet, you'll notice it's going to retain some water on you. Look at that. I want to add some gray here. Right down this side. See, when I do that, it leaves a little effect right here. We're going to take a different color down this. Oh, I kind of like that right there. We'll leave that right there. And let's see here. It's all in your liking with the eye, what you can create. Now this dries super, super fast. We're going to go ahead and let this dry. We'll come back and I'll top coat. And here's our finish now. I went ahead and I added a matte top coat. I just use Wet n Wild matte top coat. It's inexpensive. It works great. You see that? So it looks like, there we go. See how it looks like there's texture in it? It's the paint. I'll add extra snapshots at the end of the video, some macro shots, and I don't know if I'm going to art this one. This one came out darker. I did this one darker than my original one. My original was more of a light gray and light browns, where this is a little bit of darker tones. I do like it. I do want to play more with this, do different color combinations. Okay, so I went ahead and I arted it anyways. I did the same what I did with my Manny. I used Bundle Monster Plate 311, which is a small image. Which I can't wait for their new plates. They're revamping them, and all of them are going to be bigger, which is so exciting. I used a DIY gray nail polish for stamping. And I probably won't even add an extra top coat over this or another matte coat. I like the distress, so I'll sit and maybe even rub. I want to knock some of it off. I don't want it to be too perfect because I do want the distressed look. Alrighty, well you guys take care and thank you for watching my video. Hang 10. Bye-bye.